coming to some of the audience's questions. Do you support or oppose Governor Brown's high-speed rail project and why? That's something. And Ken, we're going to start with you.
I oppose it at this time. I wrote for the Bee. You know, I think actually the Bay Area with BART, I think BART was a factor in the Bay Area weathering this recession better than the rest of the state, because they've got a very strong built-in transportation network. The problem is it's too much at this moment. I did support the budget. You know, no one makes you king. You are a part of a collegial body. I supported, there was a couple $100 million in the budget this year for the bullet train. The big vote on the bullet train was a trailer bill, which is actually so-called continuing appropriation. So it will produce billions of dollars in revenues out of the cap and trade program to support the bullet train. And I was one of only 2 Democrats to vote against that, and I was actually the first one to vote against it. So I did vote for the budget, which buried in the budget was some money for the bullet train, but I feel my job is to be a part of enacting the budget. We've now passed our 4th on-time budget, so I did make that vote, but I oppose the cap and trade bill.
Your words.
It's a miracle.
I'm really pleased to hear you say that, Mr. Cooley, because I think at this stage you've managed to excel in beating John Kerry from the I opposed it before I supported it before I opposed it before I supported or opposed it. I'm confused. In 2013, there were 4 measures before the Assembly and the Legislature that empowered and gave the High-Speed Rail Authority its, if you will, instructions to move forward. It's okay from the Legislature to begin constructing the first 13 miles of what ultimately is supposed to be in excess of 400 miles worth of track, none of which is high speed. My opponent supported all those bills. And you're right, you voted for a budget. The people of California passed in their wisdom the ability of this House to stand up and say that it wasn't 2/3 because that collegiality that you speak of, that loyal opposition was getting to be too pesky. And instead of putting the brakes on runaway spending and runaway taxes, we allowed now a majority vote. So while I like to be collegial, I also like to stand up for my principles. And if I oppose something, I don't vote for a budget that funds it. $279 million this year to be exact. And you're right, there was a harebrained idea that we need to fund the harebrained idea from the taxes we take from businesses and people, like the gas tax. And it's great that there were 41 signatures on that picture. There were also 41 signatures on a letter to the governor saying, well, don't raise the gas tax 70 cents a gallon. Unfortunately, my opponent, he didn't sign that letter. What we have to do, as I said, Thomas Carlyle, conviction without action is pointless. It's really great to have these different types of scenarios where we can vote for something 1 minute and vote against it the next, and be on both sides of the issue. You won't have to question where I stand.